Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
So I came back from my workout. I'm taking questions and answers. Shout out to my new subscribers. I really do appreciate y'all. And today I'm going to go over a question that one of my subscribers had. Hey, work is tight, money is tight, and I'm considering whether I should be investing or saving. So basically, they're saying that they can't do both. I disagree. But this is how we're going to get started. I'm actually going to give you the best advice that you can possibly get in my way of doing things. You came to me because you want my way of doing things. This is exactly how I do things. So based on your finances and your living situation, let's say your expenses are $12,000 a year. That's, I don't know, maybe $700 a month in rent payments, $200 a month in groceries and other whatever expenses. And anything else that you spend money on would be miscellaneous things that you don't necessarily need. All right? Now that we got that out of the way, you have $500 left over. In fact, let's start smaller than that. Let's start with $300 left over. That's not a lot of money. I understand that it can be difficult. You have zero money in your investments, zero money in your savings, but today you decided to start investing. You did your budget because you're listening to me, and now you have $300 every single month left over. And you get paid bi-weekly, so that means you only had $150 that first week and $150 by the end of the month that you were able to use to combine for that $300. Listen, I understand that life is tough. I just spent over $6,000 in the last 4 months fixing up my car because there's one thing after another. $6,000. If you don't have the savings for that, that could really ruin someone's life. Like I could have bought a whole new hoopty for $6,000, but I got the same old hoopty. You understand? So again, just understanding that I completely understand. So that gets into my first point. You need savings. You need an emergency fund. My emergency fund is well over 2 years of expenses. Now, most people would say you should not have that much money in savings. And, to each their own. I actually intend to have my entire mortgages in a savings account. Like the amount of money needed to pay off my mortgage will most likely be in a savings account. Why is that? I actually have more money saved than invested. And when I say invested, I mean not real estate investments, but just stock market investments. Not other investments like Series I bonds and treasuries, but just stock market investments. I have more money saved than I actually do in the stock market, I believe, because I may not be accounting for some of that money in the 401k. And if I do count the money in the 401k, it might be equal. So with that being said, this is how I would start. One, I would ensure that I have at least 20, not even 24,000. I would at least have 6 months of expenses ready to go. So if you spend $12,000 a year on expenses, you need $6,000 in your savings. That means for someone making $300 a month, it's going to take you almost 2 years to save up $6,000. While you're saving up that money, you're going to open up a high yield savings account, a high interest savings account. This is money that you can take out with no penalties every single year. High interest rates are starting to go down on the savings accounts. I was getting 4.5% with my savings brokerage, and they've now dropped it down to 4.4% just recently. So what does that tell me? That tells me that I'm starting to earn less money on my savings account, and probably by 2025, mid 2025, I might go and buy a new car because now I won't really see the incentive to save. Or I might just go on a fancy trip or something. Those are really not that expensive. I'm not spending like $5,000 on a trip. Maybe I'm spending $3,000 to $4,000 on a trip. And to me, again, very inexpensive for me at this stage of my life. So, I'm making that much just in interest saving my money. So like this is the type of stuff that when you do save and you continue to save, you'll start to reap thousands of dollars in benefits for doing so. But once you get to that 6 months of saving, this is when you start to divide things. This is when you start to break it off a little bit. So now we're going to start also implementing your investment strategies to it as well. So my brother uses Acorns. I tend to start a lot of people off with Acorns, but I would start to tell people to use Robinhood or M1 Finance or Charles Schwab. These are the few investment brokerages that I can actually trust and tell people to put their money in without feeling as though it's a scam-like brokerage. No, so there's not many brokerages I trust, but you can definitely trust those three. The reason why I don't really advocate for Acorns is because of the subscription fee, and most people are not getting that much money in dividends to basically negate that subscription fee every single month. And so you can do the same thing that Acorns is doing by just investing in the ETFs yourself, and now you no longer need to invest in Acorns and pay a $3 subscription fee every single month for absolutely nothing whatsoever. Now, I like the roundup. I like the ability to spend money and then round that up and it goes directly to your investments. So that is really the biggest thing for people who love to shop. They'll be investing like crazy. Here's the thing about investments, and this is a big key. If you're watching right now, you should be writing this one down. Investments are not to use for emergencies. That's why I told you to start with your emergency fund, your savings account. Why? Because when an emergency happens, you should not be pulling from your investments for any emergencies. One of the biggest things that I ever learned watching YouTube actually was to never pull out your investments. In fact, you should believe that it doesn't even exist. You know, the biggest problem with most beginners, most people who are bad at investing, is that they spend their investments. It doesn't make any sense at all. How do you spend something that you're supposed to be investing for the future? This channel literally is investing for the future. How can you invest for the future if you're spending the money that you're investing? So get it through your head. Your investments are not, I repeat, are not for emergencies. That's what your emergency fund is for. And once you have a fully funded emergency fund of 6 to 12 months, mine is 24 months, then you can start to put maybe $100 into that, and then $50 into your usable savings account, and then $150 into your investments. See what I did there? So now that your emergency fund has been met, you take a little bit of that money, $50, and you start to put it towards your usable account. I have a usable account which is 2 times more than my emergency fund. And I just told you my emergency fund is 2 years of expenses. So my usable account is 4 years of expenses essentially, right? And that usable account I can now use for cars, real estate, whatever the hell I decided that I want to buy. And then I also have my stock market account, which I probably drop about half of what I drop into my savings account every single year into my stock market account, which is insane because I really do over $15,000 a year in the stock market just in adding additional funds to it. and you don't even count because now your dividends is hitting, everything is hitting at the same time. And when I say $15,000 a year, that's split between my 401ks and Roth IRAs, and that's also split between my individual stock market account that I invest in myself. So with that being said, my savings account is doing even more than that. And you know, I'm proud to be able to go to my usable account and say, wow, if I want to use this money, I can. But I still don't go and buy whatever I want. There was this car that I saw. It was an Ioniq 5, the Disney version, guys. Only 600 in the world. I texted my best friend yesterday. I was like, yo, this car is pretty dope. It's pretty nice. $60,000 with the tax, with the $7,500 tax credit, it'll be $54,000. People, my down payment on both of my houses would have equaled about $54,000. So imagine me paying cash for that vehicle to do what? To do what, people? So I couldn't justify the purchase. Do I have the money to do it? Absolutely. I can go into my savings account and purchase that in cash money. But guess what? That is years of work, people. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I got that in a year. No, I didn't. That was years of hard work to get that type of money. So to just blow it on a vehicle, I don't see myself doing that, especially when I can get more investments, especially when I can do more for my financial freedom. And listen, investments can be stressful. I don't want you to think that all investments are made equal. Real estate investing is stressful sometimes. You got to raise rents. You got to make sure your tenants are paying on time. You got to make sure to rehab the home if they decide to leave. You have to make sure to go to eviction court if they decide that they don't want to pay you. You have to make sure to have your lease ready and ready to go. You have to make sure that you're documenting their renewals and everything else in between. You have to make sure that you're not forgetting anyone's, time for renewal and things of that nature. All of these things are stressful. And then when you want to increase and buy more real estate, bro, I'd rather buy a REIT. But I don't get the, yes, you can get appreciation in the stock market. Yes, you can get dividends in the stock market, which is your passive income or your cash flow. But you can also get appreciation in actual physical real estate. Yes, you can also get cash flow and actual rent payments. But you also have that mortgage that you have to pay off with higher interest rates than I've ever seen in my lifetime, which are normal, right? 7%, 6% are normal, but you just don't want to pay that when you were spoiled with 3, 4, 5% interest rates. So long story short, start saving first. Once you have your 6 months of expenses, you can then start to put half of that towards your investments. Investments are not to be touched for no reasons whatsoever. Once you have your 6 months emergency fund, you can then start allocating a little bit of that to your usable savings account. Your usable savings account. And if you haven't been having any fun, if you haven't been having any leisure, that $50 that you have should be probably $25 for fun, $25 for the usable savings account. A lot of people are probably like, how can you have fun with $25 in a whole month? Well, for me, I'd head to the corner store right over there. I'd get me a $6 worth of margaritas, which is 2 cans, by the way. You might even be able to get some for $2.50 each, so that's only $5 of margaritas. Boom. If you live in New York, you can get a $1 slice of pizza. If you don't live in New York, you can go to McDonald's and get you a $1 cheeseburger or something to wash that down so that you're not hungry when you go out and party. Over here in Ohio, parties are typically free depending on where you go. Now, if you live in elsewhere like New York, you might have a cover. Cover could be $10, $15. Boom. Then public transportation, another $6. All right. So boom, that's your $25 right there. You can only party once a night. Can't buy no drinks for nobody else. So if you're going out with friends, you gotta let them know ahead of time, hey, I can't buy you no drinks. And that's only if you go to a party with a cover. There are house parties that you can attend. There are free events that you can attend. In Ohio, again, you don't have to do covers, but most covers are $5 if you do covers. And that way you can actually buy your friend a drink if they go out with you for a night. Or you can even party twice in a month. So for me, I could literally go out twice in 2 weeks and only spend $30. And in a whole month, go out 4 times and only spend $60. And $60 is a stretch. I'm probably spending less than that, including gas. But, people's fun is different. So my type of fun, just going out dancing, getting a little drunk off some margaritas. I actually buy a drink in the club because, you got to buy a drink in the club. And I'll go to clubs that give you nice drinks. Like, I'll get a whole pitcher for $10, right? So I got $6 worth of margaritas, and then I got a pitcher for $10. That's $16. People, I still remember I'm going to these parties back before when I was single, and I would get 5 girls' numbers, never bought them a drink. A lot of you guys like to go out there and buy every single woman you see a drink. I don't have to do that. I mean, look at this face. I mean, I'm charming. Am I not? So not to downplay anyone, but yeah, figure out ways to have fun where you don't need to spend money. In fact, I know a lot of people who don't even party. So if you're not a partier, or maybe you're a video gamer, and a new video game costs $60. Listen, I am cheap. I have the money. I just went over my emergency fund and everything else. These new video games on the PlayStation 5, they cost $60 out the gate, $70 sometimes. I'll put it on my wish list until they discount it to like $50, and then I'll buy it. Yeah, I'm going to wait until I get $20 off minimum, because we all know it gets discounted at some point. Why would I pay full price for something I can get cheaper later? So that's how I am. Listen, before I bought my massage chair, I waited and waited for them to discount it. They never discounted it in 2 years. I said, you know what? That's 2 years too long. Let me go ahead and buy this thing. And so, I'm happy to have it now. But man, no discount. I'm still. So, one part of being rich and getting rich is being frugal. Let's be real. If you don't want to be frugal, you won't get ahead. You will not get ahead. You can't get ahead and not be frugal. I don't care who you are. Elon Musk is selling off multiple houses for a reason. Warren Buffett only lived in one house his whole life. Listen, we got money. We just don't need to spend it all on useless things. And so, you can go out and have fun, but also understand your priorities. And no one should be above that. Not a woman, not a man, not anything, right? Like, now, if obviously family first and everything that you do, but not above your, again, financial freedom. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.